After Queen Elizabeth I died, her counsellors searched through her private chambers and discovered something that chilled them to the bone. A letter, buried deep among her possessions. What did it say? And why did it make their blood run cold? To understand the letter's true impact, we must begin with the dramatic life story of Elizabeth herself. Born into scandal, Elizabeth was the daughter of Anne Boleyn, the woman who seduced King Henry VIII and triggered England's monumental break from the Catholic Church. Elizabeth's very existence symbolized the English Reformation. But her mother's fall from grace was swift. When Elizabeth was just 2.5 years old, Anne Boleyn was beheaded by her own husband. From a young age, Elizabeth's life was shaped by trauma, politics, and betrayal. Her new stepmother, Jane Seymour, entered the picture just days after Anne's execution, and a year later, Elizabeth had a new half-brother, Edward, the son Henry had longed for. Elizabeth quickly showed signs of brilliance. By age 10, she had translated a religious text into Latin, French, and Italian as a gift to her father. Her intelligence made her one of the best educated women of her era. But her teen years were marked by something far more sinister. When her father died, Elizabeth came under the care of Catherine Parr, who soon remarried Thomas Seymour, the king's brother. Seymour took a disturbing interest in the young princess. He crept into her room at night, tickled her, tore at her clothes, and shockingly, Catherine Parr, Elizabeth's stepmother, joined in. Eventually, Parr discovered Seymour and Elizabeth in an embrace, and the princess was sent away. After Parr's death, Seymour set his sights on Elizabeth once again, until he was arrested, tried for treason, and executed. Elizabeth survived these horrors, but her trials were far from over. When her half-brother Edward died, he named Lady Jane Grey as his successor, ignoring both Elizabeth and their sister Mary. But the people rallied behind Mary, who became queen and earned her infamous nickname Bloody Mary for her brutal persecution of Protestants. Suspicious of Elizabeth, Mary had her imprisoned in the Tower of London. For 3 months, Elizabeth's life hung in the balance. When Mary died childless, Elizabeth finally ascended the throne. As queen, Elizabeth stunned the court by refusing to marry. Yet rumours swirled about her romantic entanglements, especially with her childhood friend Robert Dudley. But Dudley's wife died under suspicious circumstances, falling down a flight of stairs. And though the coroner ruled it accidental, whispers of murder haunted the affair. Ultimately, Elizabeth was forced to give up the idea of marrying Dudley. Her courtship drama didn't end there. When Dudley secretly married another woman, Elizabeth exploded with fury, banishing the bride from court and never forgiving the betrayal. Despite her image as the Virgin Queen, Elizabeth's court was filled with sexual tension, jealousy, and political manipulation. Her image was carefully crafted, down to the thick white makeup she wore to hide the ravages of smallpox, makeup made of lead that slowly poisoned her. Her reign wasn't without violence either. Elizabeth eventually ordered the execution of her cousin and rival, Mary, Queen of Scots, a decision she would later pretend to regret. Her most celebrated victory came when she faced the Spanish Armada in 1588. Donning a breastplate and rallying her troops, she gave one of the most iconic speeches in British history. "I may have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." Still, not all was glory. The Armada's failure was due more to Spanish missteps than English strength, and the very next year, Elizabeth's forces suffered a crushing defeat. Though Elizabeth's reign became known as a golden age, ushering in the works of Shakespeare, Marlowe, and global exploration, it was also filled with contradictions. She collected over 2,000 dresses, but once stole a maid's gown out of jealousy. She inspired women to blacken their teeth to mimic her sugar-rotted smile. She could be generous with her ladies-in-waiting, yet violent, once breaking a maid's finger with a hairbrush in a fit of rage. And so we return to the letter. After Elizabeth passed, her advisors searched her belongings and found a letter buried deep in them. Its contents were heartbreaking. It was a letter from her old lover, Robert Dudley, who had passed just after the Spanish Armada in 1588. It spoke of their love and intimate times, but even more touching than the letter itself was the note Elizabeth had scrolled on it. She marked it as his last letter to her. Since she had no heir, the House of Tudor, which began in 1485 with Henry VII, ended with Elizabeth. Although she kept it on the down low for political reasons, Elizabeth loved her mother, Anne Boleyn, very much. She quietly honoured her and her family by taking care of their positions at court and always kept her mother's portrait in a locket on her necklace. After Queen Elizabeth II, who reigned for 70 years, and Queen Victoria, who reigned for 63 years, Elizabeth I is the longest reigning British queen. She was in power for 44 years. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one.